going on, Focus Squad? What's up? What's up, everybody? Um, Welcome back to another week. We're back, but in the black this time. The white got kind of hot, so weather's getting nicer. So we had to go with the short. We had to go with the shorter shirts.
Yes. So
anyways, but
weather.
We are your hosts. My name is Zach.
I'm Rebecca.
And we're back at another one. This one's going to be a good one. We're going to be talking about social media. And of course, if you missed last week's episode where we talked about police check, that was a really good one. So check out our YouTube, Spotify, or Google podcast. We'll get into that a bit later.
Yes.
But before we start, let's get into our land acknowledgement.
It's important to acknowledge Canada's history of enslavement, racial segregation, and marginalization, as it has had a devastating impact on people of African descent. The existence of systemic anti-Black racism and inequality in education, housing, employment, health, criminal justice, political, and other areas can be directly traced to the complex legacies of the dehumanizing enslavement of African people in Canada. Canada has neither recognized nor educated the public adequately about the historical facts related to slavery and the anti-Black racism it has produced. Despite this, Black Canadians have made outstanding contributions to Canada in every field, which is all the more remarkable given the legacy of slavery. It is necessary to recognize the history of Black Canadians in order to build a more just society, free from discrimination.
Thank you for that. So thank you for our land acknowledgement. We don't want to spend too much time. We're just going to get right into our discussion. We have a great one surrounding from social media, and I know it's a big discussion, especially with everything that's going on. So without further ado, I don't know, Rebecca, you ready?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
I think I'm ready. Let's bring on our first guest. Rebecca, take it over.
First guest, a really, really good friend of mine.
Hey, how y'all doing? How are we today?
How are you?
I'm liking the short sleeves. I'm good. I'm in the long sleeves though. You know, sometimes it's a little chilly in my house. So.
All right.
Yeah, I'm slowly waiting. I don't know if you guys see. I'm slowly waiting for this to hit my face, but it's whatever. Whatever.
Yeah, so Kathy, please real quick, tell the people a little bit about you.
Okay. Hi, my name is Kathy. I'm a grade 12 student with the Toronto Catholic District School Board. I'm also the TCDSB student trustee for the 2019 to 2021 term. So I'm going to graduate in a month. Next year, I'm headed off to Ryerson for their social work program. So catch me back here in a couple years. I promise.
Yes.
Soon. Thank you, Kathy, for being with us. We're going to bring on our next guest. I don't know what you want to refer to him as. I'm going to refer to him as Mr. Kicks by Shay. So let's bring on Mr. Kicks by Shay.
Hello,
what is up?
Hello.
Look at all the stuff behind him. Like, come on now.
Yes.
Banger. Thank you very much, Zach. Much appreciated. So just a little bit about me. My name is Shay. I'm going into third year university at Ryerson for business management, majoring in entrepreneurship. And I am also a sole proprietor, small business owner. And as you can see, I customize shoes, I make shoes, and I add designs to shoes, whatever you can think of.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a little bit about myself. Oh, we're doing the snaps? We're doing the snaps. All right.
I had to do snaps only because Shay has to hook me up soon. Like, he has to hook me up soon.
Fun.
Waiting for a fresh pair of Air Forces so I can get some stuff on it. We'll talk about that after, but
that's it.
Rebecca, take it away.
Up next, another really good friend, Miss Michaela.
Hey everyone. Hey, thank you, Rebecca. Okay, so I'm Michaela, as you guys can see by my name bubble right there. I'm a grade 12 student at Loretto College, and I'm an active member of CSLIT. Maybe you've seen me on exec in a few subcommittees. And I'm just really excited to get down in this conversation. Oh, fun fact about me, I'm very clumsy. So I fell down the same set of stairs within the same 2 weeks in the same spot. So I'm very clumsy. Yeah, it's it's bad.
Same spot too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I can laugh about it. It's okay.
Hold on, before we get ahead, I'm not letting someone off the hook because someone didn't give me their fun fact. Kathy, what was your fun fact?
Oh my gosh. I just realized she said her fun fact and I was like, and I even prepared one. I don't know why I didn't say it. My fun fact is I know 5 people with the same birthday as me. So,
That's
I'm
crazy.
trying to tap through Instagram.
It's a birthday bash.
Just party on my timeline.
Party on the timeline.
Yes.
I only know one person, and Martin Luther King Jr.
That's
Gang.
It's my guy, but we'll leave it. We'll leave it. Shay, did you give us a fun fact?
Did I give you I don't think I did. Okay, fun fact about me. I went to Camp O. I'm a graduate of Senator O'Connor, OCS gang, represent. I went to Camp O 2 years in a row in grade 10 and grade 11. And I celebrated my 16th, 17th, and 18th birthday at Olympia.
Bruh.
So that's my fun fact.
Must be nice. I know they brought out a cake.
They did. For me, we actually, my first year, there was 2 of us who shared a birthday. So it was myself and 2 others. So 3 of us rather. So there was like
that's
it was a nice birthday bash.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm lucky. I wish I could have gone. It was
Extensive Campo experience.
I know.
Yeah.
I miss it, bro.
My man loves Campo. Safe to say. Let's bring on our last guest. I know he's a dear friend of mine. I'm gonna refer to him as Space Jam because that's what he is, Mr.
Word.
What's up?
What's up? Hi everybody. My name's Quincy. Damn, you guys all had such nice intros. All I can really say about myself is that I love music. It bleeds through me. It lives through me. It comes out through me. Everything about it. I live, breathe, eat music. And you see it in my art, my work. When you listen to it, you can tell that I'm a student of the artwork, and I just love it. And it's done a lot for me so far. It's allowed me to meet a lot of new people, create a lot of opportunities, and bridge a lot of connections with people that I never thought I'd be able to reach out to. And there's a lot of things coming. And this summer is going to be a great summer, regardless of the lockdown or not. It's gonna be a great summer.
Trash.
And and I promise you guys, there's gonna be some great crazy sounds that you guys are gonna be able to vibe out to for the summertime. I got you. Yeah.
We'll plug him a bit more later, but check my boy out.
You know.
Real quick before we go on. Yo, Quincy, where'd you graduate from? High school?
Oh, of course. You guys already know what it is. O'Connor gang. That's actually wrong.
That's actually wrong.
Yeah, it is wrong,
that's
trash.
actually
I
wrong.
forgot about that. Trash.
Ooh, I went to O'Connor with these 2 guys for 2 years from grade 10 to 11. And then grade 12, I ended up actually moving to Durham. So I ended up graduating from a school in Durham, but St. Mary's. But these guys know. You guys know. It's O'Connor gang always. You guys know.
It's still OCS gang.
You guys know.
All right. I'm really excited for today's conversation. We have an incredible panel today. Real quick, before we talk about social media, like how many of you guys are still on social media? Are all of you guys using it?
Like
Yeah.
yes and no.
Yeah.
Kathy.
Yeah, I can't lie.
I have to be.
Yeah. Yeah, I use it.
Kathy, that was what was that?
Yeah.
That was-
Yeah. So like, I got the social medias I'm like registered on are like Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, which is like trash. Don't even know why I still have it. The memories, it's them. They're holding me hostage. And then, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and TikTok, I guess, is a social media kind of. But I disabled my Instagram not too long ago. Like on Saturday.
Word.
I'll be back soon. Just I don't know when, but soon.
We'll get into that one. So I guess the main thing about social media is like for us especially, different, like Kathy mentioned, we have different social media platforms, right? And we use different social media platforms for different reasons. So Shay was talking about it. His art is through some of his socials. Quincy was talking about it. Some of his art, he bleeds his art, and then he promotes it on his socials as well. And then Michaela and Kathy, you guys do some cool with the school and stuff and Black Alliance. So I just want to know, like, because I know for myself, like, even though I'm not really active on like my Instagram like that, I know my Instagram tells a different story from, like, I guess, like Snapchat, like private story, or like even LinkedIn, right? Like you're a different person across all three. Like, what do you guys think is like, what do you guys think is like the biggest difference, or like the most, like biggest difference from your personality across different platforms? Loaded question. Question.
Yeah.
That's a good question.
I can start this off if that's good with y'all. So for me personally, that's something that I'm working on right now, and it's breaking the barrier between my brand and myself as an artist. And maybe this is just something specifically within my profession and my industry, but I'm really trying to not be the brand Kicks by Shay, but be the person Kicks by Shay. So that's one way that I'm trying to go backwards almost and become less professional. Whereas in other lights, for instance, like LinkedIn, I might be very, very formal, very professional, something that's more so corporate. And that's almost just, I have LinkedIn there as a resource. Personally, I don't use it that often. And if and when I do use it, I like to have it look clean and look nice. So that way, if anybody just Googles my name, what comes up is pleasant, and it's not just a bunch of stuff from when I was in the 8th grade. But other than that, yeah. And then touching on just like informal stuff, like a Snapchat private is just more so for me and my close friends. And that's just raw, straight up, like just Shay off the clock, fresh out of bed, going to bed, whatever you want to do. So it's just so many different levels of social media.
Yeah. I know Kathy. I know Kathy personally, and then I see the Kathy online, because you're Miss Student Trustee, right? So you have to put up a professional, persona out there. So
yeah. So like my Twitter, if you check it out, like all the people I follow, they're like educators. They're literally like teachers, like principals, superintendents, like literally schools. So I'm on education Twitter. Like that's my whole feed. They're like retweets from like a 6th grade class. Like that's what I'm looking at. So there it's like very straightforward. It's all about like business, like just student trustee. It's like really nothing about my life or who I personally am as a human being on there. It's just like that face of like, okay, that's like a student trustee, and that's it. Like that's just work. Same with my LinkedIn. It's just like, okay, like this is where she's worked, and that's it. Snapchat, I'm not really on it, so I don't really like, it's just there. But like my Instagram, I think I would say like I'm allowed to be more like myself. I'm young, like I'm 18, like I'm still a kid, so I'm allowed to post like my music. I'm like, yeah, this is what I'm listening to, or like I just got new shoes, like I just got a new fit, like fun stuff, fun youthful stuff, where I can kind of like be silly or just like be myself, and it just feels like I'm just with my friends. Like that's what it feels like. Whereas like on Twitter or like anywhere.
So I mentioned it, and I'm sure like maybe Michaela or somebody else has like a experience with it. So like she mentioned that she doesn't use her Snapchat anymore. So at a certain point in time, like that was something that was like heavily involved with her socials and stuff. So I don't know if that comes with like, I guess like age or I guess experience or something like that. But I know like even like what's something maybe like spam accounts or something like that, right? Like different people like grow out of certain things. So do you guys think like a certain age point, or do you guys think it's like a realization, or what's that switch from like, okay, I don't really use Snapchat anymore, or I don't really use Facebook anymore, or something like that?
I feel like it's more of a realization. Like I can use Snapchat for an example because I used to be like an avid Snapchat user. I had like hundreds of streaks. I was doing this and that. Everyone saw my life on Snapchat basically. And it's like after a while I started to realize I'm like, why am I sending people a black screen 3 times a day? Like what does that do for me? Like so I kind of came to that realization. It's like it's not really benefiting me and like for the stories and stuff, it's like, yeah, my close friends, they could see this, like what Shay said, like wake up, go to bed, stuff like that. But I feel like when it came to the streaks, for example, it's like it's kind of like a waste of time. So it's like you start to prioritize your time more and realize that that's not it anymore.
Yeah. Like I know personally, I had a spam account. I deleted my spam account because for me, like, and I like it's funny because it was kind of like around New Year's, and I didn't even mean to like delete it around New Year's, but I just didn't, and it became like a thing where I felt like if I couldn't even post it on my main account, I don't really care to post it on my spam, and then like my whole spam account became of like, oh my god, who's allowed to be in, who's allowed to not be in, and then there's like a cap on a certain amount of people who can come in, and there's people upset who can't be a part of it, and then it's like, but then do I even talk to all 45 of you guys? Like I'm probably friends with only 3 people, and then I still can't even really post what I want to because too many opinions. So after a point, it was like this is kind of useless. It's social media, like. And at least for me, because I don't run a business on social media. I don't really run anything on social media. It's just for personal use, fun. So for me, I felt like if I'm not going to post it on my main, I'm not going to post it on. I don't even have personally, I don't even have private stories. I don't have a close friends. I don't do any of that. I just feel like if I can't have it out there, right there on my main account, I don't need to put it on social media. And like Snapchat, like I'm just waiting till the screen is done, and then I'm probably just gonna delete the app. I don't know. Snapchat really, it's about to go, but yeah.
The thing with spam accounts too, like Quincy probably knows this, but like I made a spam account kind of late, and then once I made it, like I kind of felt like, oh, like I'm obligated to post like once a day, twice a day for my spam account people, right? Or like even like private stories, like like I'm obligated to post with my friends like twice a day, 3 times a day. Sometimes you feel like you have to do that, and then when you don't post, you're just like, oh, like your spam's dead, your spam's this, your spam's that. So sometimes like the back of your head, you're like, but like as creators, like as artists, do you guys feel it's the same for like your actual profile? Like, do you guys think like, oh, like I have to showcase my music, I have to show that I'm still active on here, or I have to showcase my art, I have to showcase my sneakers that I'm still on here? If not, like I could get lost, like, you know what I mean?
I feel like I've taken a different approach in terms of like how to put my content out there. Because I used to get a lot of complaints that I didn't post enough or I didn't release enough, I didn't do enough on my social medias. But one thing I realized is that like once you make it like a everyday thing, or you make it something where everybody expects you to be posting every day, it kind of becomes not only the standard for of expectations that people have on you, but you also put that expectation upon yourself, right? So I feel like nowadays social media is so big where if you're an artist, you make music, you're competing with all types of people that are pushing out their content every day. So I feel like I've taken an approach, and not just with my main account, but even with all my spams and private accounts and whatnot, it's like I just look at it like quality over quantity. You know what I mean? And I would say that maybe could affect, the efficiency of like what I put out in terms of how it's not often, people don't see it every day. But I feel like when you're chasing something as an artist, and maybe Shay would also be able to relate to what I'm about to say when I say you don't want to put yourself in a position where everybody has an expectation of you and it's your fault that you put yourself there. You know what I mean? For example, like if Shay was constantly posting every single shoe he was working on every day, eventually people would want to see that every day. You know what I mean? And when he stops, it becomes a problem. You know what I mean? So I've done everything I could to make sure that no one categorizes my main accounts and private accounts and other accounts as different. They're all the same as, yeah, I post different content, but you shouldn't expect me to post a lot more on one account than another because I didn't give you that expectation, or I didn't give you the ability, the time to make that expectation.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
I relate to that heavy, and just hearing that there's a lyric from a Black song, EA6. It's the last song on Free Black, and he says he can't conform to people telling him what kind of music that they want him to put out, because then if it
Bingo.
blows up, like, he becomes the song, and then he has to
Bingo.
keep doing that, and he doesn't if he doesn't want to. So for sure, it's definitely just not putting that pressure on yourself and setting your own sort of limits, posting when you want to post. And I hear that heavy.
That was a good quote still.
Yeah.
Album's a banger.
As soon as he said it, the song came in my head. The song came in my head. But yeah, thank you guys for that. So like, you guys are saying like you guys don't put limits on yourself. You guys don't put limit on your work. You guys don't put limit on your abilities, and you guys don't let anybody define you, right? But one thing like when it's not like it's not Shay the artist or Space Jam the artist, like say Michaela, right? Like if you're representing yourself on behalf of an organization, I know you're part of several. Like what are some things like you have to take into consideration when like you're not doing this just for yourself, but you're representing a whole Kathy as well, like you guys representing a whole I'll say organization. What are some things when you're managing those on social platforms?
I think one big thing I consider is like, if someone were to send this screenshot to the person I work for, would I be able to kind of explain myself without having any problems? Like, I want to make sure I'm putting out an image that's me, that I'll be able to like back up with my own words and be able to explain myself if something ever gets mixed up. That's like one big thing I have to consider.
I think for me, like, it's the same thing. It's kind of like, if someone sent this to like my employer, would I be safe? Like, would I be scared? And if the answer is yes, I would be scared. It's like, no, like, you have to reword that, you have to edit that, like, that's not going up. Also, like, is it gonna taunt you like down the line? Like, if you say something super controversial, is that gonna come back and bite you? Kind of like if you decide to like respond to hate comments, but if you take it a certain way, it's like, if I say this, like, will it come full circle and kick me in the butt type of thing?
Exactly.
Which is like a big thing to consider.
Right.
And even deep, like you were talking about hate comments and like even being careful like how you reply to hate comments. Because something that slips my mind, even when I'm texting people, is like people can't hear your tone when you're texting, which is
Super.
Yeah, that is so annoying. But yeah, people can't hear your tone, obviously, right? And so you even then have to be careful how you reply to that hate comment, because at the end of the day, you're the person that's in charge. Like at the end of the day, you can screenshot that, get that, surrounded everywhere, and then boom, you get yourself in trouble. And then from there, right? Then now a whole hate train starts, and then you have to deal with that, and then the whole like cancel culture. Speaking of cancel culture, like, guys, I cannot stand cancel culture. If you know me, like I
hate it.
Michaela's laughing because we have one of these meetings at one of our Zen doodles. It's like an art kind of session thing, and literally the whole 2 hours was spent with me ranting about cancel culture. I can't. Especially when after 2 months you're gonna go back and follow that artist, you're gonna go back and support them, you're gonna go back and stick up for this, and then literally it just gives people an opportunity to hate on everybody. And I don't know, hate trains, I can't stand it. And I know maybe Kathy can speak a little bit on it in recent events and stuff.
Yeah, like, well, I haven't been canceled, so let's get that straight.
Yeah,
but I have dealt with like hate trains, which is like, I feel like that's so weird to say, because like, damn, like, I really am just some teenager getting hated on by adults, like full grown people.
Bums.
No, literally, like, it's like, damn, are you bored. Like, why are you like it's the middle of the day and you're gonna email me and attack me? I'm like, I'm not gonna even read that. I'm gonna toss it in the trash. Or I like to laugh at it because like you really went so low to go out of your way to like say this and that about me, and I'm not gonna even respond. I think I win at that point. Like,
Trust.
or when other people come to my defense, like I don't even say anything. I just sit back and I watch. I'm like, yeah, these people got my back, but I don't need to say anything. Like I know who I am. I know my values. I know, my goals and ambitions. This person knows nothing about me. Who are they to say like this and that about me? They don't even know me like that. I know me like that.
Yeah,
It's like I know that's not the truth. What's the point?
They think they know you over the socials, right?
It's like you don't, okay, what's my favorite color then? What's my favorite food? Like, you don't know me, bro.
And that's why I deleted the spam accounts. And that's why I just felt like it was a fake persona I was putting out there and it was not me. So I had to delete the accounts and stuff.
Yeah. And it's like, that's why I don't respond to hate comments. I'm like, you know what? Like, what's the point of going that low? Sorry, even lower than them to like respond to that. Or like talk to a brick wall. There's no point trying to conversate with a brick wall. They're not going to listen to you. Talking to yourself at that point. So it's like, you gotta move on. Like people will hate. Sometimes I tell myself and I tell some of my friends this, like, you're doing it right when these people are like angry that you're doing A, B, C, D. And it's not even like a negative thing that you're doing. Like you're creating positive change in the world. And when people get angry at that, you're going in the right direction. You keep going.
Yeah.
Let's hope Mr. Doug Ford doesn't feel the same way. But that's my little jab at COVID.
Yeah.
And
let's July and August.
Oh my God.
But and like Shay, even like Quincy too. Like I know, like I keep coming back to you guys because you guys are artists and it's just so fascinating. So there must be a certain point where like some people, like I wouldn't say hate, but I wouldn't say like some people like really don't agree with like your work or like your efforts. Like they don't really take in the time, the preparation that is put in. So what are some things like within your experiences, like what are some of I guess some of the biggest differences now that you're putting out content in terms of like feedback that you're getting? Is it all like, do you guys all have like, oh, rah pom pom groups, or is it there like those people that you guys see visibly or on screens and you're just like, they don't really mess with me?
I don't know. Quincy, do you receive a ton of hate? Like, I don't know. You're probably more so than me, man.
Yeah. I'll say like, and it's crazy because every day I consider myself like lucky and grateful that I've been doing this and I have not received hate. I have not received and I'm really not saying this like to make it seem like I'm I really mean like so far I've been receiving nothing but love. But what I will say is that sometimes people can kind of offend. You can kind of offend you without even realizing that they are. Like things like that happen also with I would say cancel culture. Things happen in within the cancel culture and us looking outside in, we don't know what was in within that situation. So it's easy for someone to offend somebody that could be in within that situation. You know what I mean? Now, when I say that, I'm saying it more so when I bring it back to me, it's like, some people could come up to me and just be like, hey man, like, are you that guy that does that did that song? And like, they'll say the name of the song and like it's kind of obvious, like that I was the one that did it. And like, I'll be like, yeah, it was me, and it's like, I'm not saying that's offensive to me, but it's like when you come up to me and you say something like that, it's like showing
Put some
me
respect
like,
on my name. Put some respect on my name.
It's like showing me like let's say I painted something, right? And it says my name there, like at the bottom of the corner. And you come up to me and you bring that piece of work and you go, hey, like, did you paint this? It's like, yeah, I did paint that. You know what I mean? And it's like people offend you without realizing they're offending you sometimes. And I feel like if you're the type of person that you don't know how to realize that right away, you can take that to the next level. And that's how real hate comes into, that. And so far, I have not dealt with much hate. So I don't know how to.
That's good though, because I know for some rappers it's hard out here. Like hard.
Yeah.
People love love
For real.
rappers.
For real.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's more so with, and it ties back to social media. Like I do what I can to reach out to people when they reach out to me. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, like Shay or Zach, you guys follow me on Instagram, so like you'll see when I release something, and you'll see like I'll post on my story every single person who shouts me out. Like every single person who shouts me out, I will post. So I'll like after release, you'll see probably like 60, 70, 80 posts on my story, and it's just like,
Damn.
yeah, bro. Like, and it's just like little things like that is like that's how you make sure the love stays within, like
For
it stays
sure.
inside, so
For sure.
yeah.
I hear that.
You know?
60
Yeah.
to 70. That's crazy. That's
No, for
wild.
real,
I
bro.
like I hear that. I get that on
For
some of my
real.
work too.
Yeah.
And
I've seen
but
it. Like
60,
I've
70,
seen
damn.
you. Yeah. But
Yeah, I hear that. Agreed.
For sure. Because I think it's in terms of like supporting too, or like hating on social media, I think it's a lot easier to do that behind the screen than in person.
definitely.
Like like I know some people, like I'm not even trying to like say anything about some people, but some, like if you're trying to promote something, some people will repost and not even really look at what you're doing or what you're posting, right? Like people would say, "Oh my gosh," in the comments, and not even click or not even really pay attention to what's going on, right?
Facts.
And the flip side to it can go to like some people can hate so much in person, but that built up hate is only available behind the screen, right? Like that built up hate. I know in high school, you know what, Quincy? I know in high school, me and you, Quincy, Mike, but I know there's been different situations where stuff transpired on a Wednesday night on Snapchat, on Instagram, and Thursday we came and we were silent. I didn't and act like nothing happened because and then like me and Quincy would just look at each other and laugh. We're just like, oh, so
Literally.
they're not bringing that same energy. They're not bringing that same, So I think it's amazing. Like even some of the comments, like to create connections, but as well create differences with it behind the screen. I think it's so amazing to see that. Like, I guess that's why like our older generation may disagree with it, because that lack of communication is missing sometimes. Because you're just reposting or you're just texting a comment. You're just saying congrats, but you're not really paying attention and supporting what's going on, right? Like I could repost Quincy right now. Does that mean I listen to the song? Or I could repost Quincy could repost me, but does that even mean that he realized that I reposted him and I support him? Right? Like it could go a multitude of ways. So what do you think? I guess where I'm getting at is because like I know like to get people to really invest in what you're doing rather than just them saying congrats is completely different. So how do you bring people in, but how do you keep them in? Like even like with your Black Alliance group, Michaela, like how do you bring people into these webinars, these activities, and keep them there? You know what I mean? And not just reposting saying, "Oh, don't miss out," or "Oh, don't do this." You know what I mean?
I think it's like my mindset is kind of like build that sense of community. So I could also use like CSLIT for an example. Like GAs, it's like you see the same familiar faces. It's like, oh my gosh, I know them from this part of CSLIT, like this subcommittee. And it's like you build that sense of community where kind of everybody knows everybody. So it's like it's not just like come to our webinar. It's like come watch your friends on this webinar. Like see your friends and how they're growing and becoming successful and stuff like that. And I think that's one like big thing for me. It's like don't just treat them as people watching you, like treat them as like your family, your friends, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I know. What about you guys? How do you guys keep your followers interested and engaged?
That's a completely different story. I try to not focus too much on followers. I don't know. All right, we're all back. Did that happen to everybody?
Yeah.
You're here.
Okay. All right. I thought that was me. I try not to focus too much on my followers because, you know, it's becoming increasingly easy, especially with TikTok, to just blow up off of nothing. Off of one video, you go viral, and then boom, now you have 20,000 followers overnight. So I try to just more so focus on my community and people who are really engaging with me to just say what's up and be a person back, you know? For instance, like I have 1,600 followers on my account, and on a good day, I'll get like 450 story views. Like recently, it's been really good and it's been getting me a lot more, but I might only have, I don't know, 10 or 20 people who are actively like engaging with my stuff on a consistent basis. So for me to now think, oh, well, how do I get all 1,600 of my followers to engage with me? That's unrealistic. It's unattainable. So I really just don't try to put too much sweat on, oh, damn, I lost 10 followers today. Or, oh, I gained like 50 followers. Like when I do, I always say thank you. But it's just a matter of focusing on who's there, not focusing on who's not there. And that for me is just like the biggest piece of all of it. And just trying to, you know, give back, put out good content for them, and do just things for them, like giveaways, all that sort of stuff. Say thank you in whatever ways that I know how.
You can see.
I would say really it's just, and I feel like it's kind of easier, especially when you do music, to kind of keep people engaged, because just as long as you put out music, right? Like just as long as you put out music and it's things that people can listen to, can jam to, it's kind of easy to kind of just get people engaged, because music is kind of something you can support very easily, especially today. It doesn't require any money to support me. It doesn't require, all it takes is just to press that one button and put it on your story. Chances are there's a lot of people who do that and maybe don't even listen to the music. You know what I mean? Like the point is, it's like, it's so easy when it comes to like music, when it comes to this. So what I try to do, at least I'll be honest, I don't really have a method. Like I don't really have like a method, but I would say one thing that I do, or I make sure to do, is that every single time somebody messages me or somebody reaches out to me, or, you know, somebody posts me or something, when I do get the chance to reply, they know that it wasn't just, you know, some half whatever reply that I just copy pasted. They know that it came from the heart. It's real, you know. And I feel like even if I just did it once with that person, the moment they know that, I had that one interaction with them and it was real, you know, no matter what it was, that one interaction was real. The music, if it's good, it sticks, regardless of how many times I speak to that person. So if we just speak once, it's from there, it's over, you know. From there, it's like I have that person as someone who is going to support me until I either put out a bad song or I, you know, like something, you know. But really in all, it's just, with music, it's a lot easier when you kind of just have, you know, a good amount of people around you and you kind of just put out good stuff and people kind of just revolve around it. So
yeah. Well, that's good, because I know for some people, like the amount of followers or the amount of views that they get on their stories and stuff, like it can affect them. It can affect their perspective, like of life as well. Because you see, like you have all these followers, but it's like, how many of them are actually your friends? Or like, how many of them do you really know, right? And then like it's just a false understanding of your friends, a false understanding of people you know, and then that's how like social media can become your life. And that balance sometimes can be hard. And I keep referring back to the spam account that doesn't exist anymore. But yeah, like that's another thing too. Like it helps create that balance. Like, this is real life and my phone is not real life. Because if I don't do that, then that's when like comparisons start. And I really want to talk about that, because I mean, for me, like this just as like a normal Black girl, right? Just on there, like keeping up with standards and stuff. Like I don't even post on my page as much, just because I'm like, should I post this on Instagram? But then I'm like, wait, is this even like Instagram worthy, or like this and that? And like it can affect your perspective. So I mean, do you guys like, what does it look like when it comes to putting your stuff out there? Do you feel like there's competition, or like there's a standard you have to keep up with, you know, on social media?
That's a great question. I think it's a little bit of both. For myself, you know, like I'm starting to become a more reputable customizer within the industry in and of itself. And I have a certain reputation that I want to hit within the city and Canada. But so there is a little bit of a standard when it comes to just, I can't take any picture of sneakers and then just throw it on my page. Like I have to put some thought into it, some effort into it. I have to think about what I post sometimes, and try to, like whether that's adding an extra day to an order to make sure I get good pictures in first. That becomes all a part of it. But I definitely think that there's a good bit of balance there between like not overthinking something too much, and just making sure that it represents you or who you are as a person. At least, like if you can vibe with something, then just throw it out there. If not, then if your life isn't going to be affected in any way, positively or negatively, however you're feeling, then that's something that gets left to your discretion.
Yeah. And real quick, do you have a personal page? Or is it just business?
I do. So I do have my own personal, and like even on a personal basis, like for myself, I don't post frequently. I'll post a lot on my story, just whatever's kind of going on in the world. I'll repost a lot of my stuff on my Kicks page. But other than that, on my actual feed, I don't post tons. If I have a few good pictures of myself, I know I do some modeling here and there, I'll throw them up on my feed. But I don't sweat it too much. Like my last post is, I don't know, March. And then before that, it's like September. And before that, it's like August again. So it's not, it's staggered.
Yeah, that's good for those. And then, because I know, okay, like another reason why maybe like we don't post is like, or I won't post is just because I'm like, okay, so then maybe people from church are following me, people from school are following me. I have family members who think I'm an angel, or like my friends here. It's like keeping up with a persona sometimes.
Yeah. Shay, you talked about it really quick. You talked about your personal account. You post on like your story, like issues that are going on in the world. I just wanted to talk about that really quick because I know personally there's some people that have literally asked me, they're like, if I don't repost, one person asked me, who shall remain nameless. One person asked me back in the summer, if I don't repost a black screen for Black Lives Matter, will you still talk to me? I was like, oh wow,
that's tough. That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate.
Wow,
I didn't even know how to
respond
to that.
No, for real, I hear that.
So like even though like there's so much unfortunate that's going on in the world today, like a lot of people are reposting what's going on down in the Middle East as well right now, right? So do you guys feel like even Kathy, Michaela, like do you guys feel like there's, I don't know, like if you guys see like a whole thread of like Black Lives Matter, of pray for whichever country, do you guys feel like there's, I guess, not a responsibility, but do you guys feel like there's a little bit of pressure to like to not really fall in, but to be obligated as a person in the media? Like, do you guys think like reposting and stuff, do you guys think that's beneficial?
I think like for me personally, like my process is like, am I actually educated on this issue? Mm-hmm. Or did I just see someone else post it and go, oh shoot, now I got to repost it? Because the second one, like that's not it. Like if you actually do not care, then do not post it, because that's actually not benefiting anyone at all. Like when Black Lives Matter was going around, it was more like, it's like, okay, yes, we're posting this, but it's like posting resources or posting, okay, like sign this petition, like things that might actually help someone. You just post like a pretty colorful infographic and like leave it at that. That's not really doing much for anyone, unless it's like educating you on like some specific issue, but it's actually educating you and not just like some cute like flowers and butterflies, like,
Yeah, that's. Sorry, Michaela.
No, I was just gonna say, I think I have to agree with Kathy, because a lot of people like to use it as an accessory. Like I could scroll through some people's maybe like main profile pages and you'll see the little BLM in their name or in their bio, and it's kind of like, what are you doing for that movement? Like, why are you using it as an accessory? Like your performative activism is showing, It's kind of like, and with the black screen, like you mentioned too, Zach, it's like, but what did the black screen do for us? It didn't do anything. So like, it's kind of upsetting, but it's also like,
it's so upsetting. Yeah. That whole like the I'll be so honest. the post in the black screen and copy pasting that paragraph, that was so, like, to me it was terrible because it's minimizing the cause, it's minimizing the real issues here, because people thought that it was a pass to just take a black screen, copy paste that paragraph and post it, and some people believe that they were activists by doing that, but you don't realize that you're feeding into what, I may be veering off topic, but you're feeding into what I would say what social media is kind of forcing everybody to kind of get into, when what it's really all about. Like, I feel like if you don't find a way to make opportunity from social media, it's nothing but a distraction, and when people are out here mass posting the same thing, all it does is just put the same image and devalue what you see. If you constantly see videos of everybody reposting police brutality, eventually police brutality becomes as easy as seeing CP24. You know what I mean? So it becomes regular, and I've hated that. So if you go on my account, and you'll actually see that there's a specific post. Like when everybody was doing that black screen thing, I did it too, but I did it in a different way. So I didn't use the black screen. I used my own picture, because I felt like in the paragraph it talks about being a black man, but the black screen doesn't represent a black man. So I had to stand behind what I was saying. I changed the paragraph. I wrote my own paragraph. I didn't copy paste the paragraph that everybody was posting. I wrote my own, and I used my own picture to describe and to showcase that I'm a black man, and everything I'm saying, I'm standing behind it because I'm using my face. I hated the black screen thing. It was devaluing, what's going on.
Exactly.
Social media devalues real life situations. That's what social media has done.
Making it like a trend almost.
Yeah. Why is Black Lives Matter a trend? Why is it a trend?
Man. Everything's a trend. Everything's a trend.
Black lives. Don't make it a trend. We don't need the trend. We need to be valued. And what a trend is only valued for a specific amount of time.
Yeah. And it shouldn't be limited. And that's what social media does. It makes it limited. Because right now, everybody's back to their normal timeline and stuff. And of course, like not like your whole entire timeline doesn't have to be about Black people or Black Lives Matter, right? But at the end of the day, everybody's now going back to normal and everything. Everybody kind of forgot about the idea. And so, I mean, like some good did come out of it. I think a lot of people got educated from it. I think a lot of people realized how bad the situation was. So there definitely are some pros to it, kind of going everywhere on social media. But I think, a lot of people can become desensitized to it. And that becomes a whole other thing with like your mental health too. I know for me, like I had to take some time off of social media, like around May after George Floyd passing, just because after his passing, then there was just so many other videos coming out. And then like after seeing all those other videos and stories and you read, and then you go down a spiral and you feel like confused and hurt. And so like I had to, kind of come off of it. But to just go back on what Zach was saying, like your friend asking you, like, if I post it, are you still going to talk to me?
I was so shocked, only because like Michaela said, Kathy said, that was such a, it was such a, how do I say that? It was such an uneducated question.
Yeah.
It wasn't even sincere. And like, it really hurt. It really hurt. Only because this was someone like we talked, we communicated. And then for you to like, I guess, ask me that without really knowing what even happened or knowing the backstory behind it, that I understand maybe your heart is in a good place, but at the same time, it takes more than that, right? Like you have to, like we all talked about it, like you have to educate what's going on and not just the trend. Like there's certain stuff I see on social media, I see for literally 3 days, and I can't even tell you what those things are anymore. I can't even tell you what the issues are. You know what I mean? Like, I can't even tell you half of the people that we say pray for this country. I honestly can't tell you right now because there's no research behind it. Potentially that is my fault and the people like me, potentially, but at the same time, it's just a post, right? Like you just see a blank screen, you just see the post, and there's no real forward steps like Quincy talked about. There's no next steps, there's no act for change. It's just a black screen, or it's just a what is going on today. And yeah, it can be frustrating. It can be really frustrating that social media turns it into just that, into social media, and just something to post and just something to have out there. Um, so yeah, we definitely have to, going forward, and right now, even like right now, everything that's going on. I saw one of the comments. I recognize pray for Colombia as well. Like we have to recognize, but see, I did like that. I didn't even know what was going on, right? So I have to, like, I myself, like, all got to take a step back and really educate ourselves. Even if it doesn't concern us, like there's some people that will post Black Lives Matter and only Black Lives Matter, right? And there's some people that will post something that goes on in maybe Israel or Colombia as well, or in the United States, and only just that, right? We can't really pick and choose what battles we're trying to fight if we're involved in this life. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We can't pick and choose what we want to post and not educate ourselves on pick and choose which ones we want to post, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was a fear some people had. They were like, if I post about this country now, and if I become like an online activist, does this mean now I have to post all of them? And then what happens if I miss out on a certain country?
Yo,
that's a big one.
I can speak on that personally. It's
Please.
I have to consciously take breaks just from my mental, because I know at the end of grade 12, I believe I was big on posting a lot of stuff like that. For those who follow my personal at the time, I think Zach and Quincy, if you thought about it hard enough, you would probably remember.
Facts.
But it's understanding that social media is just social media, and not without meaning to sound insensitive in any way, shape, or form. My social media is my social media. My mental health is completely separate, and it is priority over my social media. Meaning, if stuff is just so overwhelming because it's just back to back trends about all these global issues, I need to take a step back when I need to take a step back. And I really just try to take that pressure off of myself to not be like, oh, I have to repost anything. At the end of the day, to just generalize everything, because not to say that one issue is more important than the other, because the world's such a messed up place. It's crazy, and I don't think about it too much because I'll just do nothing all day, all week, all month. What's the point? Anyways, like I really do, as long as you're educating yourself, as long as you're doing your own part to prevent things in future or to support a cause, that's what really matters at the end of the day. If you witness injustice in any way, shape, or form, you know what, it's a matter of whether or not you speak up or not, regardless of what you're posting on social medias. Like where you're putting your dollars, if you're buying something that you didn't know actually supports a government that's funding war, all right, that's something that you need to learn about and change. It's just the same thing recently with animal cruelty and animal testing, researching the products that you're buying and seeing if they're being tested on animals. That's what you can do. You don't have to necessarily post that you support this, but just do your own research and sharing that with others if you so choose. I think that's the important piece for all of this, and not feeling like, oh, I have to be a social warrior and advocate for every single person on this planet,
Yeah, because you have your people like, if you're not talking about this right now, I don't know what you're doing. Unfollow me right now. If you're not posting,
facts. Like zip your lip.
And I don't know if this is a problematic statement, but I feel like if someone is posting, like, I feel like if the media is getting attention on like a specific post, like maybe I'll see this one post posted around maybe like 30 times already, like I seen it in the stories. I don't feel like I have to post it. Another thing is maybe my followers like already know about all of it. Like I can tell like that which people follow me and stuff, right? Like maybe if I post it, I'm like, is that even gonna get any interaction from the people I'm following? Because they already posted it on theirs as well. I feel like it's important to post or share when it's a cause that I'm educated on, like I actually know, and I actually think that my followers can do something about it, then I will post. But if I feel like I've already seen it, like the same post around 50 times, I don't want, because you know what the problem with that then is? I'm posting it so that you know that I know about it, or like that you know that I care. And then it's
Big
like,
one.
am I posting it for the cause, or am I posting
Big
it
one.
because you're telling me, because I don't want you to come and think that I'm like, you know, like neglecting a whole situation or thing. And another thing is there's so many messed up things about this world. Like, there's so many. It's hard to keep up. It's hard to post every last one. And I don't know. It can be
I feel like you gotta ask yourself a question when you're posting things, and I do my best to ask myself this question every time I post something. It's like, what am I promoting, or what's the purpose? You know what I mean? Like, because I feel like we've lost the question, like, what is the purpose of me posting this? Like, you know, when you're posting things on social media, most people don't even ask themselves, why am I posting it? They'll just go and post it only to regret it later. You know what I mean? So like, if I'm putting something on my story, if I put like a topic or any world issue, I'm well versed on it. It's to say, because I know if I'm putting it out there, if I'm putting something out there, like for, let's say there's a Black Lives Matter story that I'm putting on my story, I know why I put it up there. You know what I mean? Like, there's a purpose. It serves a purpose. It's not just there for me to let you know that I'm aware of this. No, I'm putting it up there because I want a conversation. I want people to reach out. I want people reach out to me about my music all the time. Reach out to me about Black Lives Matter issues. You know what I mean? And when people go in, there's some people that like, and I'll be so honest. It may even sound terrible to say, but there's some people that have no business posting certain world issues. Because I look at it this way: you have an account every day, you're posting a whole bunch of nonsense, but tomorrow you want to post about Black Lives Matter. Tomorrow you want to post about this, that, and the third. It's like last week you're talking about, you know, we don't even have X and Y. We don't even have to talk about it. But the point is, it's like some people, it's so blatant that you know that it's hypocritical. Social media has become a game where everybody just wants to look like they're on top of everything. And the world issues and knowing the news, it happens to be one of these things that like the young people want to be. They want to show that that we want to show that we can do, that we know how to do. So then we're gonna go and post all types of things, and we're not versed on it. And we don't realize that we're actually doing the opposite of what posting these things are supposed to be doing. Instead of bringing awareness, you are devaluing. You're devaluing the situation. It's called, that's what trends are. It's called trend for a reason, because it's gonna trend for maybe 2-3 weeks, a month, and it's gone. That's why they're called trends. And Black Lives Matter became a trend. Supporting countries became a trend. Like everything became a trend. That's what social media has done to like world issues. You know what I mean? It's terrible.
And then you think it solves it, and you go look in Six Buzz's comments, and it's all
Oh
the
my
same stuff.
god, that's the worst part, bro. Because it's
like,
the worst part, bro. You literally look at a post and you're like, okay, maybe we're making progression, and then you go on Six Buzz, like where the real things are at, and you look at it and you're like,
trust.
no, this is the real stuff. Like, this is what people are really thinking.
Trust.
And you come to realize that, bro, social media has not done. It hasn't changed anything. It's only made it worse, and it's made it cooler for people to come out here and talk about trends, talk about things, and be righteous when you know that these people have no business talking about this stuff. You know what I mean? Like, social media is a game. That's why with me, I don't look at it as my way of proving to everybody that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. Social media is not proving that. But if you see me in real life, you come to me in real life and we have a real life conversation, you'll know I'm doing it. You know what I mean?
That's it, yeah.
Trust.
That's how I see it, really.
That's it.
Yo, we got these comments buzzing right now.
Oh, yeah?
No pun intended.
Not the buzzing.
No pun intended.
I think what Quincy was talking about though, like it's so facts. And even like my cousin told me this, like it's so easy in this world to say no rather than saying yes. Like it's so easy, and that goes in anything. It's so easy to be negative than be positive, and it's so blatant, like you said, like it's so blatant in the comments of some stuff that should be really non-disputable. Like some stuff that is promoted or some stuff that is on Six Buzz as well. Like you just see the comments and you're just like, wow, like we're really not changing. And we're really like, we really just talked about this 2 weeks ago. It was just a trend.
Let me tell
And
you.
now we're back in the comments doing this stuff in the comments that we were talking about 2 weeks ago on our stories. It's really hard.
terrible.
It's really
You know what?
hard to be
Karma.
a viewer
Sorry.
of that. It's really hard. Sorry, go ahead, Shay.
No, I was just saying, honestly, like it's just the sort of thing, I say this all the time, is water under the bridge, you just got to let it keep flowing, move on with your day.
For
And,
real.
like, don't give that kind of headspace. If you fill your life up
For
with
real.
that, that's negativity you don't need. Just brush it off. Karma gonna come around. Like, it's either two ways. You're either getting put down and you're going up. And personally, I'd rather get put down because 10 out of 10 times I'm gonna be coming up after. So that's my take on that.
100%.
Woo,
100%.
Man.
warming up. It's getting hot.
Yeah. No, for real though, because and then this is tying me back to like cancel culture again, because then you see a lot of people getting in trouble, a lot of celebrities getting in trouble for not posting, and hate trains for that. But then, and I had this conversation with like a few people too. They were like kind of hating on like an artist. I'm not gonna say the artist. I don't know if this person's watching, but they were hating on the artist and they were coming after them. And I'm like, but bro, you don't know if they're donating in private. You don't know if they're, actually like they're probably like they have a lot of power. They're probably doing stuff within their power, like you can't just judge right off the bat. Another thing, judgment on social media. You don't know these people, stop judging these people, but
Not for real.
Yeah, sometimes it's okay to make moves in silence. You don't have to broadcast your
That's what I'm
whole life.
Thank
Is this
you.
reality TV? No, I don't need to see every single waking
That's it.
moment of your life
That's it.
from the second you wake up to the second you pass out in your bed.
For real.
It's okay to make moves in silence. I promise. No one's gonna come for you.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, can I speak on this quickly too? And like, I don't know the exact ages of everybody in here except for like Zach and Quincy. When you leave high school, nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Bro,
live your life.
please say it again. Please say it again. Please say it again, bro. Please say it again.
For everybody in grade 12,
Bro.
especially entering high school, 9, 10, bro.
Bro.
Nobody cares. Like all my high school friends, all the people that I ended up, you know what they call an unfollow. Like it's honestly, it doesn't matter. It's like if you put a baby shark, a pup. If you put a pup in a fish bowl, it's only gonna grow to the size of the fish bowl. Same thing can be said for high school. Once you leave high school, you have the whole ocean. Like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Can I say one thing?
Yes.
I'll never forget, bro. When I was working at Foot Locker, like about maybe I think it was my grade 9 year or grade 10 year, and like I was getting like 4 shifts a week, so I was a little gassed up, long shifts, so I was gassed up. The money was coming in, and I came into work, and I would always be like, yo, like, why are the older guys they don't dress as flashy as me when I come to work? I came to work my newest shoes, my nicest pants, and like I'd be like, why? And then I came to realize like the reason why it's like that is because, bro, when you get to a certain point, he told me, he's like, bro, once you get out of high school, life literally becomes nothing but expenses. It's literally like expenses. So if I'm a person and I'm worried about my expenses, I don't really want to hear about anything you got going on right now. And that's just like the adult mind. And I feel like as you get older, you start to realize that everybody's focused on what they got going on.
Yes, that's a big piece.
That, like you're no longer like in high school. It was like, if I see my boy struggling, I'm going to go help him right away. It doesn't matter what's going on. And that's the mentality I still have today. But as an adult now, there's things that just don't allow you to, like.
It's like that's tough and move on.
That's literally how life becomes right after high school. It's like everything is like, oh, it didn't work out for you. That's tough. Oh, it didn't happen for you. That's tough. You know what I mean?
That's it, Zach. Say that again. No more handouts.
There's no more. Life literally becomes more. Like he literally said life becomes more expensive. And I just looked at him and I was like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
The money's always going to come in. Bro, no matter how much money you make past high school, life literally becomes more expensive the day you grab your diploma and you're out of there. You're out of there. That's when it becomes more expensive.
Trust, more responsibility. Yeah, yes.
More responsibility. Everything.
I have to put it.
There you go. There you go. Hashtag.
But just to ease it back into socials real quick.
Yeah.
It really just is. I see this a lot, and like I've embodied this from a pretty young age. I was never like a lot of people knew of me, but was I always striving to be liked and like wanted to be friends with everybody in high school? No. But so I've really embodied this kind of thinking. It's really like the whole goal of life is not to buy things and go broke to impress other broke people just to make broke people think that you're not broke. Like
that's what social media is taught you.
Really, that's the mentality that 90% of everybody goes with, and you cannot. Don't live your life like that. You're gonna go crazy, you know. Like do your own flexing in private. You know what you got. You like. I don't show off everything I got in my room. Nobody needs to know that except for me. I know that I got it. The people who know me know that this is what I do with my life. And other than that, it's all irrelevant. Don't worry about keeping up with nobody else. Social media is all a game. People will post something in bed. Oh, just had a beach vacation while they crying, balled up in fetal position. Like it's all a lie, man. It's all a lie. Don't.
I went to before the pandemic, right before in February, I went to Miami, and
Hot boy summer, eh?
Sorry?
Hot boy summer, huh?
It wasn't even like that. It wasn't even like that. But I went and then I had a good time with my sister and my brother. And I came back and I was talking to my friend, and we haven't spoken for a while. And he was like, "What you been up to?" I was like, "Oh, like I just got back from the States, blah, blah, blah." He's like, "No, you didn't." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "You would have posted about it." I said, "What do you mean I would have posted about it? Like, what does that even mean? Like, I have to announce that I'm going south of the border. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I have to announce every little thing." So, like Shay said, like, I don't have to say I got it on Instagram. I don't have to show every shoe I own. I don't have to show every chain I wear. So just so you can see my whole wardrobe on my phone. You know what I mean? Like that's not the purpose of it. The purpose of it, like for myself, and I guess Shay and Quincy, you guys talked about it as well, is to do it for yourself, right? Like to I guess keep inspiring yourself. Do it because you love it. Do it because that's what you want to portray yourself as. If it's a professional setting, that's different. Because as like on LinkedIn and stuff, you gotta hold a certain standard on those type of platforms. But like you said, Shay, like you don't have to always say, "I got this, I got that, I got this. Look on my story, I got this." You know what I mean? Like,
let me chime in. In grade 10, 11, all mans were on grills in O'Connor. All mans wanted a pair of grills. You know, I wish I saved myself that $140. Don't get it twisted. I got some nice fangs now, but I wish I had that $140 in my pocket. Like, that's the kind of stuff that you only see after the fact, that you're just like,
you saw
like, I really bought into it.
You saw it from other people, right? Like you're just like, those are. I was
like, yo, those are clean. Those are clean. Let me grab my pair real quick.
Yeah,
I feel like that's what social media has done, though. You know, like that's just it's you win social media by showing people what you have. You know, like if I show you my cars, if I show you my shoes, I show you my my money and whatnot, you're gonna follow me. Like and we were talking about that earlier. How do you engage people? How do you get more followers? You got to engage them. You know, and there is definitely a market of people who are into seeing your shoes and your car and your drip and your, like there is a big market of people that are into seeing that, and that's how you win social media. So I looked at it more like I'm more about quality over quantity. And, I feel like everybody who does social media the right way, at least understands that that's how it has to be. It's all about the quality over the quantity. So I can post maybe once a month, once a year, but every time I post, it's going to be crazy. Look at Frank Ocean. His social media is like, he's basically non-existent on social media, right? But the moment he posts something, he does a tweet or he makes something flip on social media, everybody who has on social media is gonna know that Frank Ocean just did something. You know what I mean?
J. Cole album at midnight.
Bro, he literally did you see? Remember that thing remember that tweet he posted a couple of days ago? Is this working? Like all he wrote was, "Is this working?" Obviously, like you're typing
respectfully,
but it's quality over quantity. The biggest guys, like the real guys, it's all about quality over quantity. But the people like this, like whatever this stage is now, especially during quarantine and pandemic, you can see it. The celebrities, you can see it. The big pages, they're trying to flood. They're trying to flood because everybody's staying home, and over the long run, I don't think that's the best way of approach, because you can see a lot of these artists failing and lacking. But it's all about quality. Like, I feel like it's all about quality over quantity, and it has to stay that way. We have to bring it back to being that way. Yeah.
I think like even like in the comments, someone said none of it is real. Kind of true though. Like if honestly,
Facts.
if I'm so happy and content with my life, I don't really need to post it on social media. I don't feel the need to. You know why? Because I'm celebrating in real life with people who are there for me, like every step of the way, who actually want to celebrate my successes. Like my best friends. I don't need to post, like how much followers? I got 2.2K followers. I promise you, they do not care. They don't care. I'm just a story tap. Okay, next. What's the next one? What's entertaining? What's more fun? Like I'm actually celebrating my successes with my friends. Like, oh, I got into this school. I just tell my best friends, I'm like, oh, now we're celebrating because this and that. You don't need to broadcast everywhere. If you're really content, like, why is that necessary?
Facts.
It's not a reality TV show, exactly. So like if you're flexing, if you have that flexing mentality, how does people's perception of you benefit you if your perception is the only perception that should matter? If you're posting all these things on your story, it's like, how does that benefit you? Okay, let's say you got a brand new camera or something like that. Good for you. Use your camera, take your pictures, build whatever brand you're trying to build, but like people don't need to see how expensive your piece of equipment is,
You gonna find out when I got a new camera when you see these new camera pictures.
Exactly.
Yes. Not even
like,
pictures
don't show
of
me
the
the
camera.
Nah, show me the work.
Pictures I shot with the camera.
I like that. I like that.
And then I think as soon as you get into that, you hand over your control to other people. Like you give yourself on a platter to other people when you do that, because then now you have to keep up with like expectations that probably aren't yours. And I think because of this, a lot of people don't even know what they really like. Like if you don't have to show it to others, if you don't have to put it out there, or if people don't have to know about it, do you even really like it yourself? And this goes with everything. It goes beyond material. It goes with you, like we mentioned, like getting accepted into schools, right? Like going to university and stuff. But like, well, if I didn't tell anybody, am I happy with the decision that I'm going to school, or like this and that? Like, and that's why personally, like when I first found out that I got into uni, like I didn't even say anything for a couple of days, because it felt like it was an accomplishment for myself just because of my journey to school and stuff. And then like, of course I told my mom, like I had to tell my mom, like I can't just not say anything to my mom. Yeah, I just kept it to myself. And then later on, it's just like, if people, like I told a few friends, but if people asked, then I would let them know. But I think when it comes to achievements in lives, it's beyond materialistic. It goes to your morals and views. Do you really think this way if social media didn't influence you? Do you really, like, is that your morals for real? Do you believe that? Right? And then you don't have control over yourself, and then you feel anxious, you feel upset with yourself once you realize, wait, like I actually don't feel comfortable with that. The social media kind of influenced you to do that because you became a social media.
And I want to tap in on that really quick and sort of play the devil's advocate on our conversation that we're having right now. In all humility speaking as well, like I've had some massive opportunities come my way as of the last few months. And I just finished a shoot with Nike Toronto, and that's getting released out. And a lot of people have seen that. But it's one thing to post to flex; it's another thing to show the process. And it's important that for not only entrepreneurs, but just for anybody who's trying to strive to achieve their goals, you don't feel like you have to only post after the fact once you've actually accomplished it. If you're showing the hard work, the late nights, the up till 6 a.m. all night, that's a lot of what I post on my feeds when I'm working on projects. Again, like I had another one a few weeks ago that I had to get done in a few days. I had to stay up all night twice. So it's like, I'll post that and say, like stayed up all night to work on this, to show how hardworking I am towards something, that this isn't a handout, that I'm not just, like I wasn't handed to me on a silver platter, that I'm actually working for stuff. And there's a fine line between doing something for the process and for the flex. And that line is humility, whether or not you're saying it for the simple fact of, oh yeah, look at me, I had to stay up all night for this opportunity, versus I'm working myself off for this opportunity, So that's also take note of that and don't feel like, oh, damn, like I just got X, Y, and Z. I can't tell anybody. Like,
No,
live
you
your
can't.
life.
I think
Live your life.
Yeah. No, I think you should. I just think when it becomes to a point where you're only posting it because one, you feel obligated, or because you like care too much about what other people think. But I think
for sure.
and like especially like if it's for your business or it's for your brand, like I think it's important to show that off as well. Yeah.
That's I feel like
100.
that's why I was saying when I was saying
Pin that.
every time I post,
Pin
I
that.
ask myself, what is the purpose? You know what I mean? Like every time I ask myself, what is the purpose of my post? So like if you get into school and you feel like you don't want to post that, that's you. That's how you feel, and you should be true to that. But if you're someone that you want to celebrate your victory outwardly, you know, to the world, and there's a lot of people that strive off of that, and that's not entirely bad, you know what I mean? But there are people that do that, and to me it's like it comes right back to that question: why am I posting this? Why are you posting this? Are you posting this for you, or are you posting this for everybody else? And I feel like once you ask yourself that question every time you're posting things, it makes it so much easier to not post stuff. I've had so much times where I'm literally about to post something on my story, and honestly I've probably been caught multiple times of like, you look at my story and you'll see a post for like 2 minutes and it's gone, you know, because like I'll get to a point where I'll post it and I didn't ask myself that question. Like, why did I post that? I didn't ask myself that question. So I'll see it later and then I'll ask myself that question. Why did I even post that? And if I don't like that
facts.
reason, oh no, you know what I mean? And you want to get rid of that. So like,
and then hope that nobody important saw it.
Yeah, you hope nobody saw it. And you know, I feel like at the end of the day, social media is a blessing and a curse, because it could be a tool, it could be a weapon of like destruction, but it could also be a weapon of like creating wealth, creating opportunity in this generation. Like, and Shay, when you said that you use your like you were up late nights twice and you post out on your page, that's so beneficial, because imagine all the artists years ago that wish they had the opportunity to show that part of themselves, to show the hard work, because now all they can do is just talk about it. But our generation, we have the opportunity to one day be those guys, but to be able to not just talk about it, we can show you what we did. And that's when social media becomes a tool of positive things. You know what I mean? When you know that in a couple of years from now, because I look at my social media like, I know in a couple of years it's when it's going to matter. Right now, what I do is just what I do. But in a couple of years, I know that I'm going to want to look back at what I've done, how I got to where I am. And I have social media to do that. You know what I mean? So it's not really about like what you're posting. It's just about if you can capture the moment, you can keep it for yourself if you want to. But I don't look at social media like it's all terrible.
Yeah.
You have to have that balance. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it all comes down to that question: why? You know, why is literally like, we have a brand called Y12, and like I feel like why is it's literally the question. It's like the question to everything. It's like why this? If you always ask yourself why, you constantly ask yourself why, life becomes a lot easier over time. And social media, I don't stress it, because I've literally asked myself why so many times that it's subconscious. Every time I'm about to post something, it's like, you know, yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Bro, I don't know. I'm not saying I figured it out, but it's really like, just why am I posting it? Like, if you literally are about to post something and you ask yourself, why am I posting this? Just before you press that post button, you may never even post again. And that's the scary truth about it. It's like, you may never actually press that post button again. And that's the truth in you. You don't even need social media. You know what I mean? I realized that this year, if I wasn't doing music, I wouldn't use social media. I wouldn't even have one. Like I don't, you know what I mean? I wouldn't have one. But you know,
that's the thing, you know, and that's why I say just live your life, because sometimes you're gonna want to play the game. You're gonna want to gain a few hundred followers.
You're gonna want to gain a couple thousand followers.
Trust,
you know, like
that was me. Yeah. And then it's like you could get opportunities, and not even for the business owners, just for everybody using social media on a day-to-day. You know, just your opportunities gonna come. Y'all got opportunities that are gonna come in life. Majority of y'all are gonna end up going to university, and then you're gonna get your next level of followers, and you're gonna repeat the same process. So honestly, we only live once. Enjoy the ride. Enjoy the simple things. Like, don't sweat about it too much. Like, it's all good. Focus on what's there.
Enjoy the ride. We're coming in. So enjoy the ride. Focus on yourself. Shay and Quincy, Michaela and Kathy, they really just embodied what our webinar is about, the focus. So this episode wasn't even about social media. It was about focusing on yourself. I think that's the biggest part of it. So I can say on behalf of our team, on behalf of certainly the people watching and the people that will continue to watch, we just want to thank you guys, young entrepreneurs, young minds, young growers, and young people in the world, right? That you guys have experiences, even though we're all around the same age, we all have our different perspectives. And I think that was shown today. But again, I just want to thank you guys for coming. Unfortunately, that is the end of our discussion for today.
No.
I wish we could be on this, man. Y'all don't even know. Y'all don't even know. But
real quick for the people
This was
that,
good.
real quick,
For the people
last
then.
word.
any
You
last words? So let's start with Kathy. Any last words?
You know, sometimes it's okay to take a break, man. Like, even if you're a big person on social media, like, I think people understand if, like, because I'm taking a break right now. My Instagram deactivated. It's been almost a week. And it's been peaceful in my head. Let me tell you, like, not having to worry about, like, oh no, like, if I post this, like, these people's opinions, like, am I, like, these people messaging me this and that? No, like, just, you gotta relax. Like, we're young. You don't have to consume your whole life. Like, your whole life does not have to be on social media. There's a life outside. I mean, like, yeah, like, there's a lockdown right now. But there's still other things to do. Because, you know, when you're older, someone asks you, like, oh, what'd you do when you were younger? Spend all my time on my phone, worry about what people think. Really? Is that how you want to live your life? Like, we're only so young for so long.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Anything from Michaela?
I just want to highlight something someone said in the comments. They said, we have the power to choose how to use it. And I think if you keep that mindset, just like influence yourself. Yeah, put up on the screen. Influence yourself. Don't like post or do things based off of what other people are doing. Do it for yourself and not anybody else.
Anything from Picks by Shay?
A little shade. Success is the best revenge, man. You know, don't when people not being so nice on socials, just be like, all right, soak your L right now, and then come back and be like, all right, 2 years, 3 years, just do better in life. That's the big thing for me. That's what I did. But you know, that's a big thing. Like, no cap, sorry, but and now they in my DMs.
Say it.
From Space himself.
All I'm gonna say really is just use your social medias to highlight your passions, because when you're gonna be older, you're gonna want to look back at something. And you know, our parents, they had galleries, they had those, you know, those books full of baby pictures and stuff. I will probably photo albums. You right. Photo album. But you know me, like I'll probably never own one of those. But what I will have is my phone. What I will have is my social media. And when I'm 45 years old and I'm no longer watching anime and I'm no longer doing the things I love, I'll be able to look back and be like, no, I love this once upon a time. Let me tap back in. You know what I mean? That's really all I look at my social media for. It's so that one day when, you know, like I'm doing what I love and I'm doing it at the top level, I got something to look back to and be like, this is where it came from. You know, that's my only takeaway from social media, really.
So guys, capitalize off of social media. Use it for good. If not, it's not real. Don't let it affect your heart and your mind.
That's the best takeaway. That's a beautiful takeaway.
That's all. Thank you guys so much. Thank you.
Take care, guys.
Thank y'all. Later.
Yes.
Wow.
Man. It's amazing. It's amazing too. Even though we're off air right now, but it's amazing too because like we talked about it a bit. Like we all went to like myself, Shay, and Quincy, we all went to high school together. And though we're doing different things right now, it's just amazing how like it all could tie us back through social media. It could all connect us.
That is true.
It's
That is
crazy.
true.
Crazy. So
Like-
we really covered it all today. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
it's
we
crazy.
did.
It's
We
crazy.
did.
But we hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. I know myself, part of this discussion, I learned a lot. And don't think just because we are, just because Rebecca might be younger than some of you guys, Rebecca's younger than me. I learn from Rebecca every time I speak to her. You know what I mean? I learned from myself and Quincy. Fun fact about me, myself and Quincy, we have the same exact birthday, right? So that's my twin. We call each other twin. We learn from each other. We always learn from each other. Shay, Michaela, and Kathy, I can't say enough about them. You know what I mean? So don't think that you can't learn from the opportunities that are in front of you, from the socials and from people around you.
Yeah.
If you guys want to learn more, though, if you got the screen up, if you guys want to learn more,
We're like jumping in. We want to shout them out, but we have to
shout it out. We got to shout out the school supports. So if you guys want anybody to talk to, anybody to contact within your school, somebody that you could contact as a teacher, CYU, a guidance counselor, vice principal, or a principal in general, a school social worker, or a school psychology staff.
Yes, and if you guys are having any issues or struggling after school hours, there are community supports. You guys can check out What's Up Walk-In at whatsupwalkin.ca, or call Mental Health TO with the number that is up there on the screen, or you guys can call Kids Help Phone Line, or check their website kidshelphoneline.ca, or text Connect to 6868868.
68688. Of course, we can't go ahead without shouting out our socials. This was a social media episode, so it would only be fitting. So you can find us on Instagram, thefocus.foy. We do post a bits of these episodes you can find. But if you want to learn about the new episodes, so in the beginning I spoke about this, but we are on podcast. So last week and the last 2 weeks we've been on Spotify podcast. We want to thank you guys for tuning in so much. And we are now on Google Podcasts. Google Podcast is now live. TCDSB Focus on Youth, The Focus. You can find us on Google Podcasts and Spotify. So tune in if you guys didn't miss the whole thing. Of course, this is going to be available on video on YouTube playback. So catch us as well.
Yes. And now what you guys have all been waiting for. Here's their social media, guys. So we have the first one, which is Space Jam, right? This is his page. Guys, go follow up. His @ is up there. Follow up, listen to his music, check his stuff out. Then we have Kicks by Shay. Guys, get your shoes, get some customs from Shay. All right, guys, follow him up. There's his @ as well. And then we have Michaela. Michaela's our C-Slip PR. Michaela's honestly a part of so many other things. I cannot just put her under that. But yeah, there's her social as well. If you guys have any questions, of course, about C-Slip, you guys know you guys can hit up Michaela. Who's missing from this? Kathy, because Kathy is deactivated right now. But I'm sure most of y'all know Kathy. So it's cool. But yeah, if you guys want, Kathy's @ is literally her name. So when she's back on, search up her name. You'll see her @ right
Kathy on the gram. As well as Space Jam as well. You can find him on Apple Music and Spotify. Listen to his music. Lakers, one song from maybe I think 2 years now, is still one of my favorite tracks by him. So listen to some of his music. Kicks by Shay. He still owes me a pair of kicks, not owes me, but we're gonna talk about it. But it's okay. It's all love. And low-key MK, Michaela. Even though myself and Michaela, we just connected. Michaela is a great person to talk to. She's involved in so many great things around the school board, as well as Kathy. Great person to talk to if you have any questions.
DM her.
DM her.
Yeah, DM her. Oh, we already have our follows. So for our next episode, we are going to be talking about gender stigmas and social norms. This is going to be another heavy episode, Zach. Guys, we're going to be talking
you know what I mean? Like, it just gets heavier and heavier. Like, it's just, it's crazy.
In next week's episode, we'll be discussing the different stereotypes that come along with femininity and masculinity, and them two versus each other, as well as the struggle that people face when trying to maintain the norms and expectations. That one seems pretty serious. I'm really excited for that episode. I'm excited to see. Yeah, already.
A whole lot of this today. I'm gonna do it already. Like, it's gonna be crazy.
Yes, yes,
But
yes, yes.
on that note, that does conclude this week. We hope you enjoyed this week's episode of Social Media. Catch us on, again, last week's episodes and next week's episode. But from your co-hosts, my name is Zach.
I'm Rebecca, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye, everyone.